Hi everyone, welcome back to Curriculum Mapping with G Suite. Richard here with another tutorial. A question came up recently on the topic of lesson plan folders and how to connect them to the unit planner in the system. And I thought I would take this opportunity to show you how you can extend features of your add-on, like a lesson plan folder, and walk you through some of the app script behind that. So on the left-hand side of the screen, this is the app script file that's available to you on step 6 of the infographic. And the one on the right is the one that includes the resource folders. Now the good news is these pieces of code are exactly the same, right? So you don't have to change anything with your add-on code to incorporate add-ons. So let's talk about now where you will need to make the changes in order to create this upgrade, and then we'll run through a test to see it in action. So I'm going to expand the screen of the folder version, and the first thing we're going to look at is the Unit Planner Template Builder Response Sheet. So again, this is your Google form that when you fill it out, as it currently stands, creates this edit URL and then merges that information to the Google Doc, right? So our goal is to add a column as a resource folder and grab the URL of that folder. So the first thing you want to do is take a formula like this, which will give you the resource folder header, and then apply an array formula that's actually going to look up the URL of that folder in a second sheet called folder IDs. So you will need to create this case-sensitive folder IDs sheet for this to work. And once that's in place, you can then hop over into the app script. And the function that makes the template is this one function, make template. And if you scroll down just a bit, just beyond the point of where the document is being renamed, okay? So after this is where the magic happens for creating the lesson plan folder or resource folder or however you want to call that. But so I'm going to just talk through this last little snippet of code. So the user variable, this is needed to provide editing rights to the person to the folder. So simply all this is grabbing is the email address of the user that submitted the form. Then we need to establish a parent folder where all the lesson plans will live, right? So in here, I have a folder just called lesson plans, and I just grab that folder ID. So once you have the folder ID, you can actually create a subfolder within that parent folder. And we actually want to name it the name of the unit. So remember, we've already established higher up in the code what the name of the unit is, so that we can match the name of the unit to the folder. Then we can add the editor, which is our user, which we just discerned right here. Then what we want to do is set the description, which is the metadata of the Google Drive folder, as the doc ID. So this is what's going to allow us to align the information in our Data Studio tables. We really need to be sure that we set the description, which is the metadata, to the doc ID. And then we need to establish the privileges for your domain. So in my case, I've set it up that anyone within the domain with a link has view access. And of course, anyone who has edit access to the document will still be able to edit, or who has edit access to the folder, we'll be able to edit it as well. Then what we need to do is get the folder ID, get the folder by name, and then get the folder ID. So this is kind of the way you're able to retrieve the the folder ID of a recently created folder. And then the same strategy applies for getting the URL to that folder. Right, so this is the information that needs to go into the spreadsheet as well, so we can know what's the link to that Google Drive folder. And then we give the instruction to get the folder IDs sheet and append this information in that order. So the doc ID, which is like the document ID, then the ID is the ID of the folder, and then the URL. So we can actually see that information right here, the metadata, the folder ID, and then the URL. So we can see here this formula looks up the document ID, and once it finds a match, it places the corresponding URL right here in column L. So you don't need an extra trigger for that. It's because of this array formula that it will populate all the way down. So that's essentially it. I'm now going to actually run this to demonstrate it in action. So we're going to run test as an add-on, and we're just going to configure a new test. Here's a copy of a unit planner. Now on your unit planner template, you're going to have to decide where you would like that resource folder to go. So here I have what are available resources. I can just type in resource folder, and I would actually make that a part of my template going forward. Make sure that's on the master template, because what will happen is we will establish a hyperlink to that resource folder or lesson plan folder, whatever we want to call it, directly in this unit planner. Moving on through the code, we see we're getting at this resource folder piece, and this is the part that actually creates the hyperlink, right? So it finds the text resource folder, and then it only hyperlinks from the beginning to the end of that string of text. And of course, this line here is simply used to open the document to get access to it prior to applying that URL. So great. So we have the add-on working as a test, and I'm going to select Curriculum Mapping Tools with Folders. I'm going to click Add the Unit Planner to the map. So per usual, we get our Google form in the sidebar, and we proceed to fill out the form. So now when I hit submit, what we're looking for is the creation of a hyperlink on the string of text called resource folder. I'm going to hit submit. And we should see in moments that our file has been replaced. The template has been filled in, and notice that our resource folder has been hyperlinked directly to the unit planner. So in terms of where all the lesson plan folders live, you can see it's right here organized in my lesson plan folder in Google Drive, and I can go right into that fun factoring folder here. So that's essentially it. That's how you would think about extending features to your add-on. And once you've made that change, even though you didn't update the add-on code, the one thing that you need to do every single time that you make a change to how your add-on functions is you'll need to go to File, Manage Versions, and then save a new version. Because then when you go back to your Publish, Deploy as add-on, all you need to do is update the web store draft with the latest version number, and all of your updates will be published to anyone who has that add-on installed. So I hope that helps clarify a little bit. I'll think about ways to incorporate some of this information into the infographic for those of you who want to add the folder piece to your own implementation. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.